Hello, Julie here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, thank you for joining me, and if you're not already a subscriber, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this video. If you're already a subscriber, thank you very much and thank you for joining me here today. Now I'm going to be working in my Steampunk journal. It's coming along. But I've got some of these tracing paper, copy guide tracing paper pages in there, and they're very sort of flimsy. And so I thought I might make something a bit sturdy to go in these pockets. So that's what I'm going to do today. I've printed out 2 sheets of the kit onto some 250 GSM cardstock, so it's a fairly solid sort of cardstock. Now I'm going to make some pockets, and I don't really know whether you'd call them pockets or whether you'd call them bags, but anyway, they're going to be self-contained pockets, bags, and that I'll put a journaling card or something like that in them. So I'm starting off with a full A4 size sheet of paper, but that's going to be way too big, isn't it? So I want my pocket to be 4 3/4 inches wide. So what's double that? 9.5 inches. So I'm going to first of all trim this down to 10.5 inches. And I'm going to make 2. So 10.5 inches. Oh, what did I say? What was that? 9.5. So I really only need it to be 10 inches. 10 inches wide. And cut this one down to 10 inches. Now I'm going to score along here. So on the non-pattern side, I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. Score at 9.5 inches. And then I'm going to turn that to that side, and I'm going to score 1/2 inch along the bottom. So the same with this one, 1/2 inch on the non-pattern side, and 1/2 inch along the bottom. Okay, so let's fold this and see how we go. Should also score them at, how wide did I say I want my pocket? 4 3/4. Score it at 4 3/4. And this one as well. Score that at 4 3/4. So that's 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch and 5 1/4, and then flip it round to the bottom and 1/2 inch on the bottom. 1/2 inch, 5 1/4. On this one I'm doing it the other way around, but if I turned it upside down it'd be 1/2 inch, 5 1/4, and then 1/2 inch along the bottom. If you haven't got directional paper, or you don't particularly want something you particularly want on the front, well then you don't have to worry about the direction that it's going. But I want my images to be on the front of my pocket, bag, whatever we're going to call this. Now I'm folding up the bottom. And then we can fold on that middle line, or that edge of our pocket line. Okay, so now we can cut this piece out. So let's do that. Just cut on a slight angle there and take that whole bottom section out. So I'm cutting the back section out. So that's going to go like that, that's going to go like that. So that's going to be our pocket. Now, so where's my front? That's my front. I'm going to take this piece out. And I'm cutting just like to the top of that score line, so that when I fold the page over, they don't bind. So now I'll fold over there like that and sit smoothly when that folds up. Okay, now I've learnt my lesson, and I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and stitch all around it before I start gluing anything together. And I'm going to use my pinking scissors and cut across there. So, looks a bit more like a bag, doesn't it? And I'll do the same for this one. Okay, so sewing machine, stitch around here and across the top, down the sides. I'll go and do that and then I will be back. Okay, so I've stitched around everything and I have inked around everything. I also inked around the inside just in case we can see any of that once it is glued down. So that's what I'm going to do now. Attach the, or close the pocket up, or bag, whichever we like to call it. So, oops. First of all, I'm going to do the side. So, just fold that over. Wet one there for that, and run a bead of glue. These cottons out of the way so I can trim them off if I so want to. Bead of glue across there, and then fold that up, and that makes our bag. Just burnish that down, and this side seam or side join, and we'll do the same for this one. Right, now let's see if they fit okay. See if I can find the pockets. There we go. Okay, so if I pop that in there, that's fine. And that in there, that's fine too. I don't know whether I should put some washi tape or something down there. The weight of the tracing paper is sort of overcome by the weight of the tab binding, and they don't really sit all that nicely. And I'm thinking if I put a piece of washi tape down there, it might sort of put a bit of pressure on it or something. Okay, I'll have a think about that. Now, let's have a think about what we're going to do next. There's a couple of things we have to do. Firstly, I will decorate those bags a little bit. I'm not going to put a lot of detail on them because, well, they got that image on them already. So, you know, maybe a label and something on there, something small down here maybe, or maybe something across the top. Not much. I'm not going to decorate the back. I think the back's fine. You can write on the back if you want to. And that will be those. And I also want to decorate the pockets a little. And I probably will make a journaling card to go inside of that. Now, if I put that one in there, the journaling card cannot be any taller than the pocket, can it? Because there's just no room for it. And here, what I might do, I can't put a tab or anything on it. I'll make a journaling card to go in both of them, and on this one I might put a tab on the top or something like that, just so that there's an indication that there's something inside of it. Okay. So I'm going to think about what I want to make this journaling card out of, the journaling cards. I've got some coffee dyed cardstock that I'm thinking I might use, so that will be plain, and I'll just probably embellish that slightly and leave plenty of writing space on that, both of them actually. And then think about what I want to do with the pockets. Now I could put, you know, something like that on there. That might strengthen the pocket up a little bit as well. Anyway, I'll have a think about it and I'll come back. Okay, so I have worked out what I am going to decorate everything with. So let's start with our bags. I've got some chipboard here that I heat embossed. I wanted a vintage style or vintage look gold, so, and I didn't have one. So I mixed some gold embossing powder and some black embossing powder, and I got this colour embossing powder out of that. So I'm pretty happy with that. I actually wanted it to match up to some charms that I have. You know, this sort of coloured charms. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be using on here with some labels. As I said, I'm not really looking for a great deal of embellishment on these bags because I don't want to take away from the paper itself. The images on the paper are fantastic and they don't need to be covered or, yeah, I think they do the embellishing themselves. So it's just a few labels. Some of these labels came from Paper Inspiration's website, I think. I can't remember what it's called, but I can put a link in the description box. Some of them come from the Tim Holtz Tiny Labels collection, and some of them are from another digital download. So I'll put links to all of the, well, I'll put links to everything that I'm using that I've got a link for. The lace, of course, is from my mother, so there won't be any link to that. So yeah, and those butterflies were an image I found on the internet, and I just printed them out and fussy cut them. So there won't be a link to those either. The chipboard itself, I can put a link to. And most of the, well, I think all of this chipboard comes from Denise Boddey Designs, so I will put a link to that in the description box. She's got lots of different sorts of chipboard. May as well link these while I'm at it, mightn't I? Yeah, so all sorts of things, all sorts of places you can get all sorts of images from. I have also got some fussy cut images from Denise Boddey from her Cogs of Time collection, which is like a steampunk collection. If you're not an inker, of course, well then you wouldn't be doing this step. Now I'm going to put a background behind the lace that I'm putting on these pockets. I coffee dyed this lace, and I used the coffee that I used was really strong, and the colour came out really dark, and I wasn't very happy with it, so I just washed it in some hot soapy water, and the colour came out, so that's a bonus. Looks like I've already inked that. Okay, but it left it sort of a creamy colour instead of, I mean, it was stark white to start with. Now, what I'm going to do first of all is, I might just assemble this down here, and then I can attach it as I go. So I'm going to run lace along the entire length of this band. You could attach this just at the top and the bottom of your pocket and have a belly band, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to, what I'm actually using it for is a bit of strength to the paper. So I'll do that, and it goes that way, right side up. And then I will attach this to my pocket. So once I've attached all of these to the page, then I will have a look at it and see whether it still needs some support via a row of washi tape down here or not. Okay, now on this one I'm going to put this label and this label. I'm going to put that just behind that like that. Then I'm just going to put these cogs down there like so. So let's do that. You can of course use Fabri-Tac if you prefer. I have got fabric glue there up in my thing, but I'm just using what I have in hand. Perhaps I should get it out. And then I'm just going to put some glue on the back of my chipboard. I'm just going to hold that in place for a few seconds. Because the glue's going through the lace, it needs a few minutes to grab. Okay. Now let's decorate this one. I have painted the back of the chipboard with some acrylic paint. Okay, set that aside to dry for a minute. Now this one I've got a little bit of lace here. Now I'm putting this down the left hand side of the pocket or bag, whatever we like to call it, because that's the side that will be poking outside of the pocket. I don't want all of this bulk in the actual pocket itself. Okay, So now I want to do this pocket. Because I will see the edges of this, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and stitch along the top and the bottom, and probably the edges as well. So I'll go and do that before I stick these on. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to attach that to the pocket, and once again you could attach it as a pocket on top of the pocket. I'm not going to do that in this case. I'm going to just attach it solidly to the page. I'm going to sort of centre it inside of that. So I've got this bag to go in there, and we've got this one to go in here. Like that. And I have cut a couple of pieces of lace coffee dyed cardstock. This is 300 GSM cardstock, and it is available in my coffee shop. So if you're interested in making labels out of 300 GSM cardstock, pop over and check it out. Now I'm going to round the corners on these, all of the corners I'm going to round. As I said, I'm not really going to decorate these a great deal because these are going to be the writing space on the page. Being tracing paper, you can write on it, but you know, we've got a lot of things happening there. Now on here I'm going to just put what will I put? Nothing too bulky, So I've got some more of these butterflies. I've got more hot air balloons here. I could put a large butterfly. I'm going to cut those antennae off. Large butterfly, and I have got some hot air balloons. Sounds like our neighbour's doing something outside. Do a large balloon there. Okay, I've got this colour ink that is fairly close to the colour of the pattern paper. I'm going to just, I think I'll probably be better off. So I don't want to drown out all the detail. Now, ink around that. So maybe some more labels. I don't know. It says thank you. You are the best. Thank you for all you do. But that's not going to make any difference because we won't see it once we get that hot air balloon stuck on top of it. So there's not going to be much writing space left on this one, but that's okay. We've got the whole back to write on. So that's that one, this one. Okay, so let's bring our journal back in. So we'll put our journaling card in our pocket. That in there, and this one can go in this one, that can go in there, and there we have it. That's our page, well, our 2 pages for today. Let's close that over. When we turn to the page, what happens? Yes, it's much firmer. Okay, so there we go. Hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been fun actually. I've quite enjoyed making these, and the little bags, I like the bags. I have got a different way of making bags as well that Rachel from Roxy's Creations, and I might make some of those later on. Okay, so thanks for joining me, and I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Okay, bye.